Hello and welcome guys to another F1 Manager video. Today we'll be doing the Belgium Grand Prix and the Zandvoort Grand Prix. We're currently in 8th in the Constructors, above the Haas, Alpine and Kick-Sauber teams. Alpine and Kick-Sauber yet to score a point, respectively. As we got something saying we're in debt, which is very true. We're going to simulate to the Grand Prix. Currently kind of in a bad situation where we're running out of parts to use in the car. We don't want to have to use money to get new parts, so we're going to try to use what we have for the rest of the season, even if it costs us places in the Grand Prix, as we don't have enough money for that. We need money for next season, so we're going to be using older engine components to get us through the rest of the season. As we'll go to race targets. We'll go for 18th or higher with Fittipaldi, and for Bottas we'll go with 15th or higher.
This weekend we're in Belgium, in the picturesque province of Liège. Halfway through the season, it's too early to call the championship. Can teams... Hello and welcome to the much anticipated qualifying session.
Qualifying at Spa is one of the most exciting sessions of the year.
We're going to manage the session.
Green light.
Keep warming the brakes.
Copy.
Left off. Copy. Warm up the tires. Good day. Copy.
We're just doing a lap to get them used to their setups, so for their actual flying lap they'll be able to go a lot faster.
Warm tires and brakes.
We get them ready for their main lap in qualifying, as he's currently just sitting behind an Alpine, which is not a good position for us, which might slow him down.
Overtake available.
Hopefully it's enough for him to get through, and Fittipaldi's got clean air.
Right push. Copy.
As they're battling on their flying lap. Hopefully Bottas can get past and actually get a decent lap on the board. He may have screwed over the Alpine in the process, but as long as he's passed and he's able to get a decent lap, we're happy.
And try to cool the tires when you can.
Bottas goes third, which is a good thing to see, as some of the other drivers behind, like Verstappen and Piastri and Alonso, are all currently out of it, as there's other drivers looking to go on another lap, but the rain's getting worse, so it'll be harder to improve. So we should be through in third and eighth. We'll see how things go. Alonso just surviving out of that one, as he gets 16th, just getting safe in that session, as both Alpines or Williams, they're both Saubers, and a Haas car are out of Kevin Magnussen.
Okay, so the green light is now. Full focus
focus on tires and brakes.
Copy.
Overtake available.
Copy.
And now we got them ready to go for their main lap.
Copy.
Fittipaldi goes faster in the first sector with the purple. That gets taken off him by another driver. Bottas currently slightly slower than Enzo Fittipaldi. Hopefully he's able to get faster in the next sector, as he goes faster in the second sector than Fittipaldi does. It's a good sight to see. As we've got one more sector to see how things go. See if Bottas can make his way through to Q2 or to Q3. As he puts in a 156.6. There's Fittipaldi.
Now we need to increase liftoff.
Fittipaldi goes just slightly slower, 3 tenths slower.
Copy. Recharge on.
Yep.
As we're just going to be knocked out of the session in P12 and 13th.
Brakes. Main focus on brakes.
Copy.
We're going to do a lap on wets to see if the wet tyres are able to go faster than inters in these conditions. As we'll see how things go.
Let's push now, the tires is good. Overtake available.
Copy. We can push a bit more.
See how things go, see if we can get a 3/10 improvement on these wet tyres. As these close to wet conditions. Let's see how we go. As Bottas goes green in the first sector. Good start for him. As he goes yellow in the second sector. As we're about to come across the line to finish our lap. See if he can go any faster. And he doesn't go faster.
Our suggestion is
So the inters were the better tyre.
Copy.
recharge on. Recharge on.
Copy.
Okay, so we're doing soft, medium, softs for Fittipaldi, and we should be going soft, mediums for Bottas. And we're going to try to undercut other drivers by pitting in early for the first stop, and be going as fast as we can in the first part of the strategy.
Welcome back, everyone. Get ready. It's the Belgian Grand Prix. And it's lights out, and away we go.
Go at the start, nothing crazy happening. We haven't lost positions or gained positions, so it's nothing special. As we're just looking to see where we can get at the end of this race. Ricardo looking for a move on Russell ahead, but it's not able to make the position. As Bottas looks down the inside on Ricardo, he goes for the position, turning into the outside. He's able to hold his line, and he has taken the position off of Ricardo, so it's a good start for him.
Good job. We are currently 11.
As a move's been made by Bottas on Russell, the man who replaced him at Mercedes. As we're going to calm down the usage on the tyres, as we only need to keep it at that level, as Fittipaldi's made a move on Ricciardo. As he's gone down the inside into one of the first corners of the track. And he made it quite easily. Bit of a crash behind us, as Esteban Ocon's been collected by the Williams, I believe, and has.
Under contact.
And not much that the team can do.
It's a bit early to pit, so we're not going to go for a pit stop, as that wouldn't really go with our strategy.
And try to cool the tires when you can.
Mode charge.
Yeah, copy.
There seems to be a lot of cars coming into the pits quite early here. As you got Verstappen, Sainz, Piastri, Leclerc, Stroll, Norris, Russell, Alonso, all coming into the pits, as well as Magnussen and Coria. They're going on to mediums. Mediums, then they'll probably go to hards later on.
Which
Hamilton in front.
Overtake available.
Copy.
Safety car will be in this lap. At the restart, it will be mode race.
Copy.
The safety car should be pulling away now.
Stay close to the car in front.
Thinking about maybe going on to a one-stop to Haas next, except I think the best bet is to just continue on the same strategy that we have, as we'll continue down the straight. So we have a couple drivers who stayed out and stayed on the same strategy, as there was a few that also came in for pits. A lot of the cars came into the pits for mediums, so it's looking like it could be down to strategy this race, as a lot of cars came into the pits and we stayed out. And so Fittipaldi gets overtaken by Max Verstappen, who's on fresh mediums, which makes sense as he's in a much faster car and on fresh mediums, as he'll be using hards later on in the race, most likely, as there's a mechanical fault with Verstappen's car.
Copy.
Bottas making the move on Hamilton on the straight, as now we just have to keep ourselves ahead of Hamilton if possible, except it doesn't look like that's going to happen, as Hamilton goes down the inside and makes the move successfully. As Sainz is overtaking Enzo Fittipaldi for the position, as Fittipaldi is helping us out here by defending as hard as he can to make sure that no one gets past, as I think he's let Sainz go.
No DRS available, no DRS available.
Yep.
stay close to the cars in front.
Don't worry. Gap is now 2.5.
We box Bottas into the pits for a new set of softs to put onto his car, as we get a decent stop, 2.5 seconds. Good stop for us,
Fighting cars out of the pits.
as he'll come out hopefully in some free air, or he'll come out just behind Gasly, so he'll have to try and get his way ahead of him as soon as possible.
In front of you is Gasly.
So we box Enzo Fittipaldi for his stop, as Bottas has gotten
I
past
know it's difficult.
Ocon, or Gasly, so it's a good thing for us as we get a decent pit stop with Fittipaldi as well, with a 2.5 second stop, and he'll be in clean air just ahead of Albon.
We are now P15. Car ahead is Gasly. Gasly 5 seconds ahead. Albon behind. We need to slow down.
Confirm.
Currently got Bottas in 11th and Fittipaldi in 14th. We're hoping that the tyres from the cars up front will burn off and will get worse over time. We're hoping that we're on the better strategy in the end. As we didn't split strategy, we just continued with the same strategy that we had. So we've gone all in to hoping that we can keep up with these cars on these newer tyres, as most people came into the box and went on for a new set of mediums, and you're going for a medium hard strategy, or a soft medium hards, whereas we've gone soft medium softs and we didn't use the safety car. So we got Ricciardo behind us, who's stuck with his strategy as well, in just behind us, as we were able to undercut him in the pits. We're hoping we can do the same with the second stop and undercut him again. As we got Ricciardo and Fittipaldi battling for
Still
position,
in a good position.
as seems like Ricciardo's going to be able to take the position off of Fittipaldi, as their car does seem to be a bit faster. So we're hoping Bottas can keep up
We need to start
and
to
stay with these cars, as we got Tsunoda leading a train with Russell in it, and ourselves. We don't want to get held up too much, otherwise Hamilton will catch up. So we're going to make him go a little bit faster, as he makes a move on Russell to get ahead, and hopefully can make a position on Tsunoda in not long.
And we do one step more management, 12.
Copy.
As he goes for a move on Tsunoda, and he makes it happen around the outside, and he sticks the move as they go almost side by side into Eau Rouge, not quite, as we'll make him go as fast as he possibly can into this corner, as we want to stay ahead of Tsunoda, and we do. as we'll avoid high risk curves, as he's got a mechanical fault that will make the curves, well, not help his fault. So we're going to make sure he uses those curves, as Hamilton's gotten past his teammate and is right behind Tsunoda, except Tsunoda's pitting. So we won't have to deal with Tsunoda, which isn't good for us. If Tsunoda had stayed out, it would have been a bit more ideal. Hamilton makes a position on Bottas, which is expected as our car is a lot slower. We'll see how we go down the straight as we try to keep it with Hamilton. Hamilton's on the tyres that are better at the moment, but we'll hopefully undercut him, and we'll have mediums which will be able to go faster later on in the stint, whereas he'll probably be going softs. Hamilton's struggling to get ahead of Alonso, which is not going to help us. Would hope to get past Alonso as soon as possible, as we should be able to get past him up the straight here, as we'll put Bottas on full push to make sure he gets the move done. Except he's struggling to get ahead as those two fight into the corner, and we get a position on Alonso for a second, but we get held up behind him, as we'll just go back on the speed. As we get the position on Alonso now, so it's cost us 2 seconds on Hamilton, but we'll have to go with that, as we look to keep ourselves ahead of Alonso, as he's on older mediums that he'll soon be pitting on for hards. We'll make sure he stays ahead of Alonso as he looks to battle with Alonso. Down the inside Alonso goes, but he's not able to make the move, so Bottas stays ahead.
We can start to push a bit more. Let's get them.
As Fittipaldi gets ahead of Russell now on track, so he goes up a place,
Good work.
as we're hoping that he'll be better on the tyres towards the end, as it seems like Stroll and Hamilton have had an incident as Courier's run wide. So we're trying to burn the tyres as much as we can at the moment, as we got Bottas who can go full push on his tyres.
I can't go faster.
Everything can happen in this race.
We'll try to undercut Alonso here, as he'll be on worse tyres, he'll be on the hards most likely, and we'll be on fresh mediums. So I'll try to get that going as soon as we possibly can.
Keep focus, we get him. We get him.
Anything can happen. We need more lift and coast. And box.
Copy, I'm gonna box.
So we put Enzo Fittipaldi into the pits to stop for his second stop of the race. As Bottas will now go further up the grid, and he might get the points if he's lucky. As he is behind Alonso, who's on fresh softs, who will probably have softs dying towards the end. As we got Bottas, who's currently suffering with a mechanical fault.
Let's get them. This is good. Now in P13, the car ahead of you is Gasly. DSC. Follow the Delta.
Copy.
We need to get these tyres to last.
Copy.
We should be able to push.
VSC because of Russell going out of the race. So I'll have to wait for something to happen, as Sonoda should come into the pits
Overtake
this
available.
lap. And he doesn't, so that's surprising.
Ending mode race.
Copy.
Close to Tsunoda ahead. DRS enabled.
As we get ourselves ahead of Sonoda straight away off the line. As we go up Eau Rouge and Medion into the straight.
Nice work.
We currently sit ahead of the Yuki Tsunoda. Except Yuki Tsunoda's got a pit anyway, because he's on pretty old mediums. So we'll see how that goes. As Bottas seems to be set in stone in getting 10th. As it'll be down to him and Ricciardo for who gets the last point stop. This will be big for us, as this will put us ahead of Williams in the championship. So this point is a lot to us.
Protect the rear.
Copy.
Copy.
No overtake. Copy.
We save fuel when you can.
Okay.
Feedback on tires.
Starting to slide a bit.
It's getting quite tight here between ourselves and Ricciardo for the last point spot. As if we get this point, we'll be ahead of Williams in the Constructors' Championship. So this is really important for us. As Sainz is on the final lap of the race, all we got to do is stay ahead of Ricciardo and we get a point spot. And we'll be ahead of Williams. As Enzo Fittipaldi's set in 12th. He won't be getting any higher this race.
Same management as before.
As we got, well, Enzo Fittipaldi has a 22 second gap between himself and Ricciardo. So, for fastest lap, I mean, it doesn't really matter, but we could have, if Ricciardo overtakes Bottas, we could even go for a fast lap. Except it would actually be too late anyway. But the main thing is we've got to keep ahead of Ricciardo. As we go into the final lap, there's only one more chance where he could really overtake Bottas. As we go down the start-finish straight.
Don't worry, keep focus.
As Ricciardo won't be able to, he goes for the move. He will make the move, and he's ahead. Going to the turn. We got one DRS straight coming up though, so we should be able to get back ahead. As we're going to put him on full deploy. And full push.
No saving.
As we look to make the move down into the corner. Got DRS and ERS on our side. We go for the move. We're not able to make the position. We're going to lose out to Ricciardo. So Ricciardo will get the point spot. And we'll just be short. So we've caught up to Alonso and a Haas car who's lapped. We're just going to miss out on points in 11th and 12th.
No DRS available, no DRS available. Check the effect. Top P11. The tire team give it all.
It's nice to be in the mix.
Valtteri Bottas there, coming back to the team now.
Yeah, they crossed the line P11, sadly just missing out on the points.
And with that, the Sainz name remains engraved in F1 history.
What an excellent way to take a second win of the season, with a composed performance today.
And there you have it, a smiley podium lineup at the Belgian Grand Prix. Well, Karun, how do you think they'll be feeling in the team garage at the end of that?
It was a strangely mixed weekend for them. We saw one driver put in a strong performance, but it was a different story for the other. Definitely positives there, though.
And that is that for this weekend's F1 action here in Belgium.
For the next round, Formula One won't be straying too far. We'll be heading to the dunes of Zandvoort and the lightning speeds of the Dutch Grand Prix.
So Carlos Sainz wins the race over Charles Leclerc and Perez. Oscar Piastri P4, 5th for Lando. As we have Verstappen, who's lost a lot of positions in this race due to going on that other strategy, the alternate strategy. And probably some other reason too. As Fittipaldi and Bottas get 11th and 12th in the race. Good race for us. I'll bring up the confidence as we have 3 DNFs of Russell, Ocon and Sargent. In the drivers, Verstappen leads by quite a significant margin, as he got 4 points for the race. We currently have 18th and 14th as Enzo Fittipaldi gets his best result of the season, so he goes up a few positions. In Constructors, we're still tied with Williams, so Williams have the highest spot for getting a higher point spot in a race, as we sit in 8th at the moment with 3 points from the sprint race. We didn't get any points for a pit stop. Unfortunately, we were just off of getting that points. as we lose out to Mercedes, who get a decent pit stop weekend. We get both our goals, so we get $1 million back in cash. We might be out of debt now due to that, as we should just be out of debt. So we got $400,000 now, so as long as I don't spend on any extra parts, we are out of debt. Okay, so we got our monthly report on our drivers. The main one to worry about for us is Kimi Antonelli, as he's gone up a few ratings. So his smoothness has gone up, which is a big part to play, as we're going to need a good smoothness from him next season. So it's a good report for him, because he's probably going to be our driver instead of Enzo Fittipaldi next season. Our driver development, we got Bottas, who hasn't gone up in anything. And we got Enzo Fittipaldi. Doesn't really matter what he does because he's not going to be driving for us next season. We might make him an affiliate, but we'll see how things go. Well, it seems like one of our drivers isn't going to be driving in our academy next season, so Van Hopen is gone from our academy, unfortunately, as he's gone to Aston Martin to drive for them in their academy. So we might look at getting an affiliate to join us next season, as he's probably going to be gone. we're going to sign Dunn as our affiliate driver to replace Van Hopen, as Van Hopen's gone to Aston Martin for next season. We're going to invest into Paul Aaron, as we believe he could be a second driver in coming seasons after Bottas goes, as he could be there for us. As we've successfully gotten Alexander done as our driver, so we're going to accept him. He can be our academy driver for next season.
Hello, and a very warm welcome as we prepare for the Dutch Grand Prix. Now it's time.
Okay, that's the green light now. You can work the brakes.
Yeah, copy. Warm tires and brakes. Okay, copy. Warm tires.
And mode push when you're ready. Mode push.
Copy.
Yeah, so we're going to hope that Bottas and Fittipaldi can get some good sectors going in here, as they're both on their flying laps, as Bottas goes purple, which is better than both Hamilton and Sargent and Stroll, as Fittipaldi just goes green. So it's a good start from our drivers, mainly Bottas, as I think we'll see Fittipaldi was off by 3/10 on Bottas, so he's got some work to do. So we've got Bottas who's about to go over the next sector line and goes green, which Fittipaldi does a green one too, as they're both at about 26 flat for Fittipaldi and just over 26 for Bottas. They go around the final corner to finish their flying lap. As Bottas doesn't do a good lap, and is well off, same with Fittipaldi.
Understood.
Lift off, save fuel.
Copy.
Not a good lap time for us. Hopefully we can improve that though and go faster.
It's going to be out, build, push.
Watch for Ricciardo. Try to work your brakes.
Copy.
No lift off.
Copy.
We need more lift and coast.
Copy.
So we look to do our next flying lap. We're hoping that we can get ourselves through to Q2, as they both did poor first laps, as Bottas goes even better than his first lap, and so does Fittipaldi. Fittipaldi with a 24.7, which is 3/10 slower than Bottas in the first sector. So there's still some time for Fittipaldi to gain on his teammate, as he goes 28.6 to, it's still 6/10 down on Fittipaldi, but they're both going a lot better. And Bottas goes 7th,
Okay.
as Fittipaldi
The rear.
goes green and gets himself through for the moment,
Charge on.
as
charge
we
on.
got 4 drivers below him, so it just needs 2 of these drivers to go below him, which Corey is pretty much certain for that to happen, and Joe is expected to stay behind, so he should be through, as Courier doesn't improve. And Joe about to go across the line to finish his lap, doesn't go faster, so we're through. Got both our drivers through to the next stage, as Bottas has shown that he's got a lot of pace, and you got Fittipaldi who's not near as fast, but is a decent driver.
And that should be the green light now. Mode out, mode out.
Copy. We need more lift off.
Copy.
So we look to get ourselves just a banker lap. It's nothing special in this lap. we'll just speed our way through this, as there's not going to be much to look forward to in this lap, as he goes 24.5 in the first sector. It's actually a pretty decent sector for him, as same for Fittipaldi. Fittipaldi doing better than his best first sector in the last session on an old set of softs. So it's a good start for him as he goes 25.0 and Bottas goes slightly quicker. It's a good lap so far from Bottas as he puts himself 7/10 down on Norris. Fittipaldi goes 1 second down on Norris. So it's a good start for them. As we're about to come into the pits to pit for a new set of softs. Hopefully we can go even faster on these new sets.
Watch your mirrors.
Watch for Leclerc on pit exit now. Overtake available.
Copy. No lift off needed from our side.
Okay.
Yeah.
As we go on to our main flying lap and hopefully our best one, as we're getting stuck behind a Mercedes for a little bit. Hopefully it doesn't hurt him, and it doesn't, as they're both gone green in the first sector. Good start for us, as they're both around the same as their first laps, but just slightly faster. Bottas goes even faster in the second sector by a little bit, and Fittipaldi seems to be out in his second sector, so he'll not improve and be out of the session, but Bottas will improve. He goes up to 8th. As Fittipaldi doesn't improve, but improves on 2 of his 3 sectors.
Green light now. We can cancel lift off.
Copy that.
I'm just going to get through a quick lap, and an old set of tyres he's using, as we're going to save the one new set for the race and one new set for the second qualifying run. So just going to speed through this, as he's gone pretty good in both sectors. He's actually done a decent time. He's a little bit off in the middle sector though, so he'll be able to improve on that lap easily.
Charge on.
Oh, we've had a crash.
Warm up. Tires.
Okay.
warm tires and brakes. No saving.
Yeah, copy.
We go for our second run, the main run of this session. Hopefully he can go a lot better in the middle sector, as that's where he failed in the last run, as he was fair way down in the middle sector. He's going green in the first sector, good start. Just going greener than he was before, so he's only made up a little bit of time. As he's going to have to go faster in the last two sectors, as he goes fast in the middle sector. 5/10ths better than where he was in the last run. As he'll come across the line to post a time that'll get him up 4 places into 7th.
Copy.
Charge on.
Copy.
As we'll see how Russell can do to improve on the time of Bottas. As he does improve enough, barely enough, but it is enough. As Stroll's gone green, so we're going to need him to go poorly in the last sector, or only improve by minuscule times, as he improves over us. And we got Alonso, who's coming around. He's gone yellow, so it's not looking good for him. He's going to need a big improvement, and he's actually not on the run. So we're going to be 9th to start the Dutch Grand Prix. And Verstappen's gotten pole. Verstappen gets pole over Sainz and Piastri. We come in P9 with a solid qualifying result from Bottas.
It's a tremendous atmosphere once again here in Zandvoort, with 72 laps.
We're going to go soft hard mediums on Fittipaldi and soft medium hards on Bottas to hopefully undercut some drivers with Bottas, and Fittipaldi just going slightly different strategy to see what pays off, so we're not going all in the one area.
Final checks are being carried out by the teams, and it won't be long until we get this race underway. The anticipation and excitement may be building up, but there's a cool head on Carlos Sainz.
It's a P2 start for them, an excellent opportunity, and no doubt they'll be looking to grab it.
Here we go. It's the Dutch Grand Prix. And it's lights out, and away we go.
Away we go for the Dutch Grand Prix. We get A decent start with both drivers, no positions made up, as Bottas looks to go around the outside on Stroll, and he does look to do that. He's hanging around the outside, and he's able to make the move currently as things stand, but Stroll's sticking on the inside, or the outside of the turn, as Stroll keeps his position in the race. So we've made no positions early.
Don't give up.
Hopefully that doesn't make a negative to his confidence, as we got a decent start off the line, nothing too good and nothing too bad. As Russell seems to be losing ground on the front runners, so that's probably not the most ideal thing for us, as we won't be able to keep up with them. But if we can get past Stroll, that would be ideal, as we got Ricciardo who's making a gap behind us, so that's a good thing. As we got Fittipaldi who can relax his tyres a bit, as Bottas will do the same. As Enzo Fittipaldi's at the back of the pack, so he can just relax, as Bottas needs to save his tyres for later parts of this track, as we'll actually go slightly faster on them.
No DRS available, no DRS available.
Copy.
No overtake.
Copy. Okay, we cool the rear.
Copy. I had no different over the straights.
Stand by.
Great.
Keep focus, everything can happen. Keep focus.
As Bottas has lost a position
Behind.
on Alonso,
1.8 behind.
as we just simulate through, as Enzo Fittipaldi seems to have a good gap to other drivers, and Bottas is currently sitting in the points with a decent gap behind. As we'll make him lean off the curbs, or use the curbs now as his fault's gone away.
Copy.
A little bit of lift off.
Yeah.
Bottas makes a position on Russell, going up a place, as Russell's on old softs that are 42% worn, so he's going to be struggling for pace. As we're currently sitting in a decent position with a bit of a gap behind us, but we are in a train that leads out of the points, so we do have to be careful.
Feedback on tires, our tires.
Starting to struggle with the traction.
Simon seems to box early, as so does Russell, as those seem to be on alternate strategies that aren't the best. As they seem to be on a 3-stopping strategy, whereas we're not.
Is
The Sainz currently goes and overtakes us. We're probably going to have to box very soon for a new set of softs.
Copy.
Copy.
As we seem to be overtaken by Ricardo, as we're going to box in next lap for his new set of mediums,
In focus.
and hopefully get in some clear air. As we got Sonoda behind, who's fighting with Enzo Fittipaldi for a spot.
Box, box.
Okay, thanks.
As it's a decent stop for Bottas, 2.6 seconds. As he'll be able to get in some clear air, hopefully, and get away. As he'll be ahead of Sargent,
Oh no!
so he's gotten a decent stop. That's put him in clean air.
Currently P15. In front of us, Albon. Sergeant behind. .54 remaining.
And we've got Enzo Fittipaldi coming in for a stop. Hopefully it'll be a quick stop for him, as it is 2.4 seconds. Or basically 2.5 seconds, so it's a decent stop for him. Hopefully he can get in the gap in front of Hulkenberg, and he will. So it's a good spot for him to come out, as he's behind Ocon and in front of Hulkenberg by a fair margin.
Currently P18. The car ahead of you is Ocon. Ocon 1.8 ahead. Hulkenberg behind.
Albon pit now.
Thankfully for us, Albon's come into the pits, as he was right ahead of our driver Bottas. So Bottas doesn't have to overtake him and he can just use clean air to get his way ahead of other drivers.
Watch for debris.
Let's take a closer look. Now this was at turn 1. Not a lot of wiggle room here. And oh, that's obviously far from intentional, but there was contact. And they'll have to pick themselves up after that.
A bit of contact between the two drivers of Gasly and Albon, or Sargent actually. So there's a bit of contact there, as we're currently doing well with our strategy, as we're holding out to see if we can get ahead of some drivers, as Enzo Fittipaldi's behind Sonoda by a bit of a margin. Hamilton thankfully comes out behind Bottas, so Bottas has gotten some positions through the pits, as Hamilton will have to battle with Ricciardo. Ricciardo and Bottas looking like they're about to fight each other for a position. This is for a higher points paying position. At the moment it's just currently 1 point, but when everyone's pitted it's probably going to turn into 2. As Bottas gets overtaken by Ricciardo, and he'll have to sit behind Ricciardo, with Hamilton peering behind. As we're currently in a decent spot in the race, with Hamilton's got fresher tyres, so he'll be able to get some more overtakes going.
push.
We're going to try to get Fittipaldi to overtake Ocon here so he doesn't get held up for too long, as he will have other drivers around him that could nerf his performance. So he needs to get past as soon as possible, and he does so on the inside and gains the position. We'll just let him off the pace a little bit, as he's already passed Ocon, and we'll hope that he can keep ahead of Ocon, and he gets in DRS range of Gasly and passes Gasly as well. So he's passed both Alpines
Currently
into the turns, as we're now ahead of the Alpines, as Bottas has kind of let off the pace a little bit and is struggling behind, as Fittipaldi is currently getting chased down by the Alpines and is going to stick behind for now as we look to overtake and do so.
Box. Yeah, nothing box.
So we're going to bring Bottas into the pits to pit for a set of hards to the end of the race, as he's ready to come in for a stop, as it seems like Russell's going to be pitting once more, so we should be able to stay ahead of him. And Ricciardo is currently on mediums to the end, most likely, as hopefully he can run out of tyres towards the end of the race, as we're looking to score 1 point, but at the moment I think we're going to need just sitting in 11th with him, as Enzo Fittipaldi should be able to get the 14th place at the moment that he's got. He's had a decent race, nothing too special that's happened. As we got Bottas coming into the pits for a pit stop, as he gets put in for a 2.6 second pit stop, a decent pit stop, nothing groundbreaking though. And he's got Perez who's behind him, who will have to lap him very soon.
Back off.
Got it.
there is a car in the wall, so watch for debris.
Zhou Guan Yu is the focus here. Oh, and there wasn't a lot that could be done to avoid crashing into the barrier.
And there's a bit of a crash there from Zhou, as we got Tsunoda who looks to be on a fault, and hopefully Leclerc can DNF due to a fault, as he's looking like he's got a chance of doing that.
We've got a yellow flag here.
If he were to have a mechanical fault, Leclerc, that could bring us the chance of getting points.
What for David there?
2 secs. There's been a crash. Oh, that's quite an impact between them. I wouldn't be surprised if there were a few words exchanged when they get back to the paddock. And clearly...
Bringing Enzo into the pits for a pit stop, as we hope to get a decent pit stop here. A 2.7 seconds, not the best, but we haven't had a fault, so that's a good thing to see. As we got Bottas currently sitting in a solid 12th, who's behind Hamilton at the moment. Enzo Fittipaldi behind Gasly by quite a big margin.
Something's not gone right in the pits.
There's a VSC. Still follow your delta.
Copy.
We could possibly pit Bottas on a new set of softs, so we don't have any new sets of softs, so it's going to make it a bit hard to do that. As we can do the same with Fittipaldi, as he'll come out like either right behind Albon or thereabouts, so actually he won't. He'll come out well behind Albon, so it's not a chance. As Bottas, I think we're just going to let him stick on his hards here to the end of the race, as there's no real point, as he doesn't have a new set of softs. So we're just going to go with that.
Lift now.
Copy. We do recommend full lift off for the fuel.
Copy. With safety car ending. Copy. And small lift off towards the tires.
Copy.
Max Verstappen over the finish line and today's winner.
Max Verstappen wins, as Enzo Fittipaldi comes 14th, a decent race for him, as he finished around about where he started, and Bottas coming home for 12th position, another decent race for him, as he'll come home for another non-points finish, but he has been pretty good for us this season so far.
Check the flag. So P12. We can press next one.
As always, there will be...
Max Verstappen wins over Sainz and Piastri, as Norris comes P4 with Perez behind him. Daniel Ricciardo finishes the points finishing spots by getting 1 point for the team, as we lose 3 positions with Bottas and get 12th, as Enzo Fittipaldi loses 1 position and gets 14th. In the drivers, Verstappen still leads over Leclerc and Sainz, as we have Bottas in 14th and Enzo in 18th. As in the Red Bull first in the constructors over Ferrari and McLaren, as we're still in 8th with 3 points to unaim. In the pit stops, we gain no pit stop points, as we're just off with the pit stops, as we currently sit in 9th in the pit stops competition, as we get 1 million for our bonuses of where we picked our teammates to be. So that's a good million to get, as we were in debt for quite a while, and now we're just out of it. As Antonelli ranks up, It's a good thing for us to see. So we get one rear ring manufactured. Paul Aaron gets points with a decent result in the Zandvoort sprint, in the Zandvoort race, as Kimi Antonelli didn't have a good race, so nothing good from him. As in the sprint, nothing important happened. Aaron didn't get points, and neither did Kimi Antonelli. As in F3, we had no race, so there's nothing to go with there, as they've just got one more race to go in Monza, which will be the next race that we have. To put one upgrade into a part, as we haven't done one in a while. We need to research all we can, so we'll get that ready for next season, as we'll go all out in drag reduction and hopefully get some cornering speeds. Abby Pulling accepts the contract, so we get to keep her on the team, as we're now back into debt, or not quite back into debt, but very close to being in debt. But anyways guys, thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. And stay tuned for more F1 content. Next race will be Monza for the Italian Grand Prix. See ya and goodbye.